My message in the chat box. Good morning message. Did you receive?
Yeah.
Yes.
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
So these are the few details.
To second unit. And second unit is about Hindu Marriage Act. Before we go into the act, let us know what is marriage under Hindu law. What is marriage?
Binding relationship between two people, madam.
Yeah. So how the Hindu marriages are different from the other marriages, like Muslim marriages or Christian marriages?
Hindu Marriage Act is an
Marriage
act
is a
of
contract
parliament.
marriage.
Sorry?
Hindu Marriage Act is an act of parliament of India enacted
Only
in
one marriage.
1955.
Before going into the act, we are talking about marriage. What is marriage under Hindu law?
It's a social agreement.
Legal relationship between wife and husband, madam.
And according to Dharma Shastra,
Okay, sacred time, ma'am.
Hindu marriage is a sacrosanct. And after the act, it became a contract. Is it?
Yes, ma'am. Sacred tie and last of 10 sacraments that can never be broken.
Yeah, it can never be broken. That is the speciality of Hindu law. Marriage in the Hindu law. Isn't it? Marriage cannot be dissolved according to Hindu ancient laws. Not after the act, but before the act. According to the Vedas, marriage cannot be broken. Marriage is done with religious ceremonies. Am I right? Am I audible?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
Marriage is a contract or a sacrosanct.
It is a sacred, ma'am, as also holy union.
Sacrosanct.
It is a holy union. In all the Muslim law, Christian law, all the other laws, is it a holy union?
No.
No, ma'am.
Contract.
It's a contract.
Right. In all the other religions, marriage is as a contract from the very beginning. Whereas in Hindu law, from our Vedas and Dharma Shastras, it is said as a sacrament. Sacrament means it is one of the essential sanskaras which a human being as an individual should perform. Isn't it?
Yes, ma'am.
So that's why Hindu marriage is also known as a sacrament. So what are the reasons that it is called sacrament and what are the reasons it is called a contract? Earlier, before this act of Hindu Marriage Act came into force, Hindu marriage was regarded as sacrament only. There was no dissolution of Hindu marriage. Like divorce was never there, not there in the Hindu law.
No question of divorce earlier actually. Now after law comes and there is a contract between male and female, women and men, like wife and husband. So
it is not a contract, but divorce has been, since divorce has been applicable, since divorce has become legal, we can say that marriage is contract. That's how we can justify that marriage is a contract. It's only for justification. isn't it?
Yes, ma'am.
Because divorce is there, we say that marriage is a contract. If divorce is not there, if divorce is not doesn't become legal law, then if there it is undissoluble, if marriage is undissoluble, then can we say that it is a contract? Let us first understand why we call it a sacrament. Why we call it a sacrament?
Ma'am, which is permanent and tied even after death, and tied cannot be untied, and it is a religious and holy union of the bride and groom, which is necessary to perform by religious ceremonies, ma'am.
Yes. And why this becomes untied? Why this is an essential sanskara?
To continue the heritage.
Because according to the Dharma Shastras, a man is incomplete without marriage. That is what our Vedas say, isn't it? A man, if when born, he has to complete few things. If a man is not married, if an individual is not married, whether it be a female or a male, there are some rights which can be done only if a man is married. A man becomes complete only when he is married, isn't it? According to our Vedas. Auna kada?
Yes, ma'am.
So we have seen from ages to do the homas, yagnas, all that female is necessary. If you are not married, you are not eligible to do these sanskaras, say sacrifices, homalu, yagnalu, you can't do this.
Yes, ma'am.
And begetting,
Even
just
for Purohit also, if we don't have wife, he is not eligible for Purohityam.
just excuse. Yes, even Rishi Munis needed, though they were sannyasis, they needed a wife to do the homas and yagnas, isn't it?
Yes, ma'am.
So, one of the main reasons to call a Hindu marriage as a sacrament is, according to the Hindu Dharma, a man or a woman are incomplete without performing a marriage. And marriage is performed through mantras. And who is Sakshiga Evaruntaru? Who is a witness to this marriage?
Purohit and elders of that both families.
Agni.
పంచభూతాలు ఉంటాయి మేడం.
Panchabhutalu.
అగ్ని,
Right. Since these Panchabhutalu are nature, according to Hindu Dharma, they are not less than gods. Right? So that is one of the reasons to say Hindu marriage a sacrament. Isn't it? Begetting a son or a daughter, having an offspring, is also one of the essential features of our social life of marriage. Without that, you cannot attain what? Swargam. Ante kada?
Yes, ma'am.
So all these are the reasons to call Hindu marriage a sacrament. Though all these things are there in other Muslim marriages and Christian marriages also. After marrying, all these things are there. But what is the main difference between calling it a sacrament and calling it a contract? What is the difference between the Muslim marriage and the Hindu marriage?
There won't be a binding relation in other religions. Here
Means?
we have the means they can break up anytime since the early days itself. Actually, they treat it as marriage is kind of occasion. That's it only. They won't treat it as a compulsion or binding relation as for their traditions and systems.
Not satisfied.
Ma'am, it is an unbreakable
What is
bond.
the main essentials? Okay, let us take it like what is the main essential of a contract?
Enforceable by law, madam.
When you call it a contract,
Two parties
It is
when
enforceable
which are
by law.
enforceable law.
Legal
Agree-
relationship.
Agreement and
When-
legal relationship.
Legal
exactly,
relationship.
agreement.
Legal relationships where social matters.
When there is proper offer and acceptance, madam.
Agreement enforceable.
Just a
Agreement made between two or more parties, which will law enforce, ma'am.
భయ ఇక్కడ మ్యారేజ్ కదా, రెండు కన్నా ఎక్కువైతే బాగోదు.
students, I'm sorry. We have some net issue, it seems. Some technical people are here. So they want to do some work with the networks and all. I don't know, some Wi-Fi issue is there, something.
Okay.
So they are disturbing. And since already I think we got thrice disturbed.
Yeah.
Classes are there further, man.
I don't know.
I mean, is it going to be fixed soon, ma'am?
ఆన్లైన్ క్లాసే తీసుకోండి. వీఆర్ వెరీ కంఫర్ట్ విత్ యువర్ క్లాస్ ఇన్ ఆన్లైన్, ప్లీజ్.
You are right, sir. But see, this type of disturbance, no, we just get disconnected from our continuity.
Yes, ma'am.
ఒక కంటిన్యూటీలో ఉంటే ఒకదాని తర్వాత ఒక క్వశ్చన్స్ వస్తాయి, ఒకదాని తర్వాత ఒకటి మనం ఆన్సర్ చేసుకుంటూ పోతే దట్ ఈస్ గుడ్. వి అండర్స్టాండ్ ద హోల్ సబ్జెక్ట్.
ఫ్లో ఉండాలి.
అది ఫ్లో ఉంటుంది. ఫ్లో వెళ్ళిపోతే యాక్చువల్లీ ఐఎమ్ వెరీ బ్యాడ్ ఇఫ్ మై ఫ్లో గోస్ అవుట్. ఈవెన్ ఇఫ్ ఇన్ ఫిజికల్ క్లాస్ ఇఫ్ సంబడి కమ్స్ అండ్ డిస్టర్బ్స్ మీ, ఐఎమ్ వెరీ పెథటిక్ ఇన్ దట్ సిచ్యువేషన్.
కేసు పెట్టేద్దాం మేడం, ఎందుకు వచ్చింది?
సారీ,
కంప్లైంట్ చేద్దాం, కేసు ఫైల్ చేసేద్దాం. ఊరికే చేస్తున్నారు. అది మేము కూడా ఖాళీగానే ఉన్నాం మేడం, ఎందుకు ఫైల్ చేద్దాం, నేర్చుకున్నట్టు కూడా ఉంటుంది.
ఎవరి మీద వేస్తున్నారు అంటున్నా, నేర్చుకోవడానికి అడుగుతున్నా.
ఎవరైతే వీళ్ళు ఊరికే డిస్టర్బ్ చేస్తున్నారని చెప్పేసి ఒక టాపిక్ తీసుకుని దాని మీద కేసు ఫైల్ చేద్దాం.
This cannot be a valid case. This petition will be rejected.
It will be dismissed.
Yeah. Well, dismissal will come later if I
Void.
it has to be filed at the because
Madam, how much time they are going to work on that now, today?
just now he said half an hour or 45 minutes. He's already starting. I think anytime we may get disconnected. He's just doing some dials and all.
Otherwise, you give a outline on this marriage and this marriage act and all, ma'am. Anyway,
Madam,
you are
we will
going to
continue
start
now
tomorrow
until it
onwards,
gets disconnected. Can we continue?
If it gets online, because I don't think it will be, because it is already he said 45 minutes. It will take at least 45 to 1 hour, he said.
No, now, madam. Now can we continue? That's what
we can continue.
That's what I'm telling. We may get disconnected anytime.
Okay.
It's okay, ma'am. It's okay, ma'am. You can continue.
Okay, ma'am.
Yeah. So this can be discontinued. Just today we will complete whether Hindu marriage is a sacrament or a contract. We'll just complete this one point. Then from tomorrow we'll start Hindu Marriage Act in section 1. Right?
Sure, ma'am. Yeah.
So as we all know that Hindu marriage is sacrament, and why we are calling it sacrament, some 3 to 4 points we have already discussed. The main thing about the Hindu Marriage Act is once you are married, only death can separate the individuals.
It means permanent.
According to the Hindu Dharma, men and women once married, they become Ardhanareshwara, Ardhangini. This itself shows that the two souls become one. So this is a main ingredient of Hindu marriage being called as sacrament. Even today, even though we have got Hindu Marriage Act, even though we have some features of contract, though today we call Hindu marriage is also a contract, still it has the sacramental values to it. As soon as we apply for divorce, do we get it?
No, ma'am.
No, ma'am.
Why?
Because they try to, manage the things actually. Even court also try to counsel, and there are a lot of ethical issues happens in between, and there are a lot of emotional issues connected between the two families.
Yes, emotional.
Ma'am,
moral.
ma'am,
Yes.
in ancient times, there is no need for girls' consent, ma'am. So why right now it is going like that? It is consent and mental soundness of the person, ma'am.
No, it was not there. It was not so that girls' consent was not taken. స్వయంవరాలు ఉండేది అప్పుడు కూడా. There was, we have so many examples of love marriages with consent. Father has taken bridegrooms.
Abhimanyu Sasireka.
Sorry?
Abhimanyu Sasireka.
Yeah, not Sasireka. Abhimanyu
Sorry.
Uttara.
Uttara, right.
The first main thing was they were at that time girls were so dependent on their parents, and parents were so obligated that they used to choose a right husband for them. అదొక బాధ్యతగా వాళ్ళు చేసేది, కరెక్టే చేస్తారనే భావం ఉండేది.
Even today also most of the cases, even today also most of the parents feel like that only. They feel like a bonding.
Yeah, they feel like a bonding. Try to take a good bridegroom. Again, we have some types of marriages from Vedic period. How many types of marriages do we have?
Gandharva,
Brahma marriage, Gandharva marriage, Asura marriage.
And
Sagai, Kanyadan, Saptapadi.
From where you are reading? Who is this?
Google Talli.
You are reading from somewhere?
Yes, ma'am, I have, ma'am.
You are reading from somewhere. You will not remember if you read.
Yes, ma'am, I have.
Yeah. There are 8 types of marriages. Even though you are reading, there are 8 types of marriages in which only 4 types of marriages are approved marriages.
Can you tell that 8 types?
Yeah, I will do. So,
Monogama, polygama, madam.
Sorry?
Monogamy and polygamy, madam.
Bigamy and polygamy.
మీరు పుస్తకాలు ఎందుకు పెట్టుకున్నారు? ఫస్ట్ మోనోగమీ పొలిగమీ మనం మ్యారేజ్ యాక్ట్ స్టార్ట్ చేసినప్పుడు చెప్తాను.
గైస్ దయచేసి మేడం ఫ్లోని డిస్టర్బ్ చేయొద్దు ప్లీజ్. షీ విల్ ఆస్క్ యూ, అర్థమైందా?
దాన్ని మీరు డైవర్ట్ చేసి బుక్స్ లో చూస్తే మీకు అర్థం కాదు. యూ విల్ నాట్ రిమెంబర్ వాట్ ఐఎమ్ టెలింగ్. మోనోగమీ పొలిగమీ అంటే ఏంటి? దట్ ఈస్ టోటల్లీ a different thing. Those are the conditions for marriages, or what we call mainly conditions to the valid marriage according to the Hindu Marriage Act. Now we are only discussing about marriage. Why Hindu marriage is called as a sacrament or a contract. What are the features to be called it as a contract? What are the features that calls it a sacrament? Sacrament or contract. When Hindu Marriage Act came into being, then only we started calling it as a contract. Before that, it was a sacrament. And what are the reasons of it calling sacrament? We have discussed. Again, when somebody told that marriage about something, I asked a question, how many types of marriages are there? And somebody said that today girls have right to choose a husband. Earlier it was not there. So I was talking about earlier also, girls had the right to choose their own partners. That discussion was going on. Antena?
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah.
Yes, ma'am.
So
Types of marriages.
what are those examples where you can show that girls had the right to choose a husband?
Sita Swayamvaram.
Swayamvaram, madam.
Hmm?
Sita Swayamvaram, madam.
Sita Swayamvaram.
Draupadi, Sita.
Hmm. Ante at that time also girls had that right. And those girls who didn't get this right or who were not uh, going out or who didn't have any knowledge about this, say, తెలియదు వాళ్ళు ఇంట్లోనే ఉండేవాళ్ళు, దే డోంట్ నో టు whom to marry. For them, father had the responsibility for giving their daughter into marriage. So according to that, what were the responsibilities of father? What he used to see in a bridegroom before giving his daughter into marriage? There were certain
High class Hindus.
Family background and characteristics of the boy, madam.
yeah. Yes, family backgrounds, character, mean whether he is a knowledgeable person or not, whether he can feed his daughter or not, whether my being given my daughter into his house, the offsprings which will come out of this marriage, will they be benefit to the society or not? These all things used to be taught by a father. Marriage, which marriage was like that? He was looking for a good husband for his daughter.
Arranged marriage.
Huh?
Prajapati.
Brahma marriage, ma'am.
Brahma marriage. That is Brahma marriage. Looking for a good husband for his own child, for his daughter, with all the good qualities in the husband. Only qualities will be seeking, that is only the knowledge. And that he was not taken, considered whether which kula he was. Though he used to always say that the kul should be upper, but again he should be knowledgeable. A knowledgeable person was preferred for the daughter, and that type of marriage is known as Brahma marriage. And this is one of the approved marriages. In the 8 type of marriages, Brahma, Daiva, Asura, and
Pasha.
Gandharva.
Asura and
Prajapatya.
Prajapatya.
Yes, ma'am.
Even Shudra also had the right to choose a better husband for his daughter. He used to go, even if he is from the higher caste, Shudra can go and ask. Rejection is the second part. But he can always ask a higher class Brahmin to take his daughter into marriage. That Brahmin, it depends on the Brahmin. We have seen Ravana is born to whom?
Brahman Devta.
Janaka Maharaj.
అయ్యా ఎక్కడికో వెళ్ళిపోయాను.
Janaka Maharaja. Ravan.
Vishwa madam.
Kashyapa.
Kashyapa Muni.
Vishwa tha, ma'am.
Huh?
Ravan's father was Vishwa, no?
No, Kashyapa.
కశ్యప.
Vishwavastudu.
Vesamuni.
Vishwa.
Pulastya Brahma.
My knowledge.
And who is the mother?
Brahman.
Rakshasa princess Kaikeyi, ma'am.
Ravan's mother was Rakshas
Right.
and father was Brahmin.
Yes.
Brahma.
Right.
Yeah.
He was a renowned Brahmin and she was from Rakshasa Kula. That means Rakshasa Kula means we can say that a Shudra. So the marriages were accepted. Even the Shudra has the right to go into the upper caste. Okay.
Even for Satavahana also, earlier Satavahana dynasty also like that one, from Brahmana to Sudra.
Yes. The classification was only for the society, not for the marriage or anything. Even when we were doing our class, I said that a Shudra can become Brahman with his knowledge and with his karma. So that was the practice from the Vedic period only.
Right examples in the area of Palnadu, there are Nadus are there actually. Palnadu, there is an
Guys,
area called Palnadu.
వేరే టాపిక్ లో పోకండి guys, please.
Palnadu. In that
Yes,
particular
Palnadu
area,
is a tribe.
Palnadu area, in that area, particularly Kamanadu, Kapunadu, this is there from since 8th, 9th century.
No, I didn't get your point.
As you said, in addition to
upper
that.
caste marriages to the upper caste is allowed.
Yes, ma'am. Yes.
Yes. So the caste system in today's it is different. We have what people doesn't like to be given to the totally different caste like Muslims and all. But still, within the Hindu religion, if there is any intercaste marriages, still no problem. But if it is to Muslims or Christians, we do have those honor killings. Unda leda? So it.
ఉంది మేడం, ఎగ్జాక్ట్లీ.
So the approved forms are Brahma. Brahma means father goes in the search for the for the bridegroom for the daughter, and he sees that the bridegroom is very knowledgeable. That type of marriage is called as Brahma marriage. Then comes Daiva marriage. What do you mean by Daiva? In this type of marriage, this say if one person is performing some yajna or something, he says to that person that if you do so and so thing for me, I will give my daughter to you. This type of marriage is called Daiva marriage. That is mainly for the sacrificial amount. That is mainly for the doing something good for the gods or some like ఒక యజ్ఞ చేస్తుంటే he doesn't want to give him money or something. He will give his daughter in return like dakshina. I think that's
offering girl as a dakshina to a priest.
Yeah, offering girl as a dakshina. That is called as for performing the godly things like homa, havana, yagna, doing something good like అప్పట్లో వానలు రాకపోతే ఇంద్రదేవుని ప్రసన్నం చేసి if rain comes I will give you my daughter. If this Banjar Bhumi becomes a very good agricultural land, I will give you my daughter. With your homa, yagna, with your sorry?
Task to be performed, like challenge.
అది మళ్ళా అది ఛాలెంజింగ్ ఈజ్ అగైన్ దట్ మనం ధనుష్యము అది చేసింది అవన్నీ ఛాలెంజింగ్ టాస్క్. ద్రౌపది వాజ్ వన్ ఇన్ ద ఛాలెంజింగ్ టాస్క్. దిస్ ఈస్ దైవ గివింగ్ విత్ ద కన్సెంట్ ఆఫ్ ఫాదర్ ఓన్లీ. విత్ ద కన్సెంట్ ఆఫ్ డాటర్ ఫాదర్ ఈస్ గివింగ్. This is called as Daiva type of marriage.
So, ma'am, in that daughter's consent will be there?
Yes.
If daughter deny it?
Then that will not be, the performance will not be there, no?
Okay.
Performance will not be there. Once it is assumed that he has taken his consent, and if she denies going with that person, then marriage is not there, then that marriage doesn't consume, isn't it? So it cannot become a దైవ మ్యారేజ్. మ్యారేజే కానప్పుడు ఇంకేం లేదు కదా.
Okay.
ఇస్తానని చెప్పి ఇచ్చిన తర్వాత మ్యారేజ్ అయితే దట్ ఈస్ దైవ మ్యారేజ్. The performance of yagna happens only with the agreement in the sense consent. One more type of consent will be arsha. Here he is offering his daughter to perform something. In the next arsha marriage, it is for the in return they will give cows or buffaloes, whatever the brahmana asks. Especially that is cows. In the Vedic period of time, brahmana, whatever pujas or havans, whatever he performs, in return he takes as cow or buffaloes in return as dakshina. That is called as arsha. మ్యారేజ్ అయిన తర్వాత దాంతో పాటు నాకు ఇవి కావాలని చెప్తారు. దట్ ఈస్ అర్ష. ఇన్ పేడ్స్ దే విల్ టేక్. Understanding?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes.
Yes, ma'am.
Bridegroom to part below in pairs if it is given, that is called as arsha marriage. Then comes prajapatya marriage. Now this prajapatya marriage is mainly for social beings. General గా మన మానవులు చేసుకున్నది to live a happy life, bringing up your offsprings, mainly for the societal reasons. This type of marriage is called prajapatya marriage, where father gives his daughter saying that you live happily ever after with your offsprings and all. This is called prajapatya marriage. To have a good social life and everything, దీన్ని ప్రజాపత్య. These 4 types of marriages are approved
Madam,
marriages.
one example for Prajapatya marriage, ma'am.
All our marriages, మీ మ్యారేజ్ కానివ్వండి, నా మ్యారేజ్ కానివ్వండి, మనం కన్యాదానం చేసేటప్పుడు వాట్ అవర్ పేరెంట్స్ సే, you both lead a very happy sexual life with your
Social
offspring. కొడుకు కూతుర్లతోటి మంచిగా ఉండండి. Bringing up your offsprings also, so that a society is formed. All the duties of grihastha ashrama. This is prajapatya.
Yes, ma'am. Next.
These 4 are approved forms. Please remember, you may get question like this: what are the approved forms of Hindu marriage? These 4 are approved, and the 4 which are unapproved Hindu marriages are asura,
Gandharva,
rakshasa, paisacha.
Rakshasa after?
Pishacha. In our language it is pishacha. Our English. Here asura means with the will of only bridegroom, without taking the consent of a girl. If he offers something to his father and takes his daughter without his consent, that is called as an asura marriage. Okay, clear? Any doubts?
Repeat, ma'am.
Gandharva marriage. What is Gandharva marriage?
Why?
Love marriage, ma'am.
Right. Gandharva marriage is love marriage. No need of any examples for this, isn't it?
And what is Asura marriage, ma'am?
Asura marriage where only bridegroom without the consent of daughter giving money to the father or brother taking up the girl in marriage. That is Asura.
Kind of Kanya Sulkum?
Kind of
Kanya Sulkum.
No, no.
That is again different.
Okay.
You
Concept
can call
is
it
same,
Kanya
madam.
Shulkam also. You can call it Kanya Shulkam also. But here the consent of daughter is not there. Here mainly the consent. That's why it is called as Asura.
Okay, ma'am.
Even if you take Kanya Shulkam తీసుకున్నా కానీ దాంట్లో అట్లీస్ట్ కన్సెంట్ ఉంటుంది. ఇక్కడ here no consent is there.
Okay, ma'am.
So forcefully taking the bride into marriage, that is called Asura. In simple one sentence, if I can explain. Forcefully taking a girl into marriage without her consent. That is Asura.
Okay.
So in this case, marriage will happen, then he will take away the bride.
Once means she doesn't have any support. Even if she wants to deny it, she doesn't have support. ఒకసారి father, mother, they have taken some money and they have given their daughter into the hands of the bridegroom. Finish.
Yeah.
That's why I'm telling no consent. Consent is not asked from the girl. Marriage with the consent of both the parties, bridegroom and the bride girl. Right. If they both are consented, if they both fall in love for their own pleasures, that is Gandharva.
Ma'am, in Gandharva marriage, are the elders involved from both sides?
No,
No.
mostly.
No.
Okay.
The
Sometimes it may
consent of
happen.
bridegroom and bride girl.
Okay. I mean, sometimes it may happen that wife and husband will be there. I mean, boy and girl will be there, and both side families also agreeing to it.
Yeah, that is again Prajapatya marriage only.
Simple, bro. Love marriage లో మీకు ఎవరు కన్సర్న్ ఉండదు కదా, సేమ్ కైండ్.
No, need not be. It consent may be there,
Marriage కూడా
possible.
అవసరం లేదు.
Oh, okay.
Gandharva marriage in the sense they do for their own pleasures.
Mm-hmm. So marriage
have married.
formalities will take place or not?
May or may not.
Okay.
Directly they may have their pleasures. After that they may go into marriage, or only having their offsprings and living together, say living in relationship. That is
Yeah,
for them
today's
till they
yeah.
are into that relationship. That is a Gandharva marriage.
Yeah, example of today's live-in relationship.
Yeah, today what it is going
Sorry,
on.
madam. In this case, there will be. We can say this is court marriage or what? Gandharva.
I can't hear you.
No, I'm just asking about Gandharva form of marriage. They will do the court marriage.
They will prove that.
They will do the court marriage. They will go in the court and do the marriage formality.
No,
Become a legal.
if they are going into the court and having a registered marriage,
Yeah.
that is different thing according to the Hindu law. Here, Gandharva marriage is nowhere written in our Hindu Marriage Act.
Clear.
Yeah, that is why it is not a approved one.
Yeah, this is what we are 8 types of Hindu marriages from the Vedic period of time, which we are seeing, and how those marriages in today's world we are connecting it with law. అప్పుడైన గంధర్వ మ్యారేజ్ని ఇప్పుడు మనం లవ్ మ్యారేజెస్ అంటున్నాం. అది మ్యారేజ్ అయిపోతే, కాకపోతే దట్ ఈస్ లివింగ్ రిలేషన్షిప్ ఇన్ టుడేస్ వరల్డ్.
Ma'am, can we take the example of Bhima and Hidimbi marriage? It's a Gandharva marriage.
It's a Rakshasa.
No, it was with the consent. It was not Gandharva marriage.
Okay.
Shantanu and Dushyant, that marriage can be called as Gandharva marriage.
And Lord Shiva and
So Shakuntala, not Shantanu. Sorry.
ma'am, Lord Shiva and
Shakuntala
Sati
and
Devi
Dushyant
also.
marriage. Sorry?
Lord Shiva and Sati Devi also.
Sati.
There is no
Sati
concern
marriage
of
was done, no?
no, but there is no concern, madam, for her father's side.
Consent from
Father's side concern లేదు అక్కడ.
no, unwillingly he gave to him. He gave. Marriage was performed.
Okay.
నాకు తెలిసినంత వరకు if I can go back and think, marriage Parvati, Shiva and Parvati marriage was done.
Okay.
Though father was unwilling.
Yes.
But since all the gods were willing and all the gods wanted their marriage to happen, he had no other option. So unwillingly he gave his daughter to Shiva, whereas he wanted to give her to Vishnu.
Okay.
And Parvati herself wanted Shiva as her bridegroom.
Okay.
Antena?
Not sure,
Exactly, madam. Ante, madam, ante.
If I am missing anything?
I'm a Shakuntala Devi and Raja Dushyant example.
Yeah. Shakuntala, that is the best example for Gandharva Viva, because they didn't marry according to religions, ceremonies and all. They just had their pleasure. Later they thought of getting married and the story became different. So that is the best example for Gandharva Viva. If you want to relate it into today's world, as on date, it is like live-in relationship.
Ma'am, in that case, if marriage is not the criteria here, then why are we categorizing it under the marriages, type of marriages?
Because the result of marriage is offsprings, right?
Correct.
So here, the same thing is there. Having sexual pleasures and having an offspring. If you're not having an offspring, leaving it, that is the different question.
Yeah, it is more of a relationship, right, rather than the marriage type.
రిలేషన్షిప్ ఇప్పుడు మనం రిలేషన్షిప్ అంటున్నాము, అప్పుడు ఏంటి? Go into that Vedic period.
Okay, yeah.
Once you are married, once you have pleasure or sexual life or an intercourse, then you don't choose any other husband, any other person.
Okay.
So the basic formation is what? Marriage only, where there is no dissolution.
Right. Yeah, they are branding it as a marriage, but still, when it is not actually performed with rituals, then
That's why it is not performed with. That's why that is the unapproved marriage.
yeah, understand.
రాలేదు కదా. The
Right.
child will be again an illegitimate child only unless father accepts.
Okay.
Then we have Rakshasa. Rakshasa means
Forcefully kidnapped from her house and after her family either died or suffered injuries, ma'am.
yes, abduction, kidnapping, without the consent of anyone, without the consent of mother, father, the girl in herself, forcefully marrying is a Rakshasa marriage. It is also an unapproved marriage in Hindu law. Even
Without
in this
the consent of
law
whom,
also
ma'am?
it becomes, sorry,
Without the consent of whom?
without the consent of mother, parents, and the girl herself,
Okay.
forcefully getting married by kidnapping or abduction. Forcefully taking girl into marriage is Rakshasa marriage.
Understand.
Then we have Pesacha marriage. Pesacha ante
Intoxicating.
huh?
Intoxicating, ma'am.
Yeah. Intoxicating. Again, intoxicating means when the girl is not in her senses. Is not in her senses, forcefully getting her married to a person. That is Paisacha marriage. Or having an intercourse when the girl is not in senses. That is called Paishachatvam. In other words, raping or whatever harsh words we can use. That is Paisacha. Giving her some drugs or something, then taking her into marriage, or having an intercourse sexual relationship, whatever it is. That is Paishacha. Clear? 4 types of unauthorized marriages in Hindu law. These 4 types are also in codified law also, they are unapproved. They don't get any legal sanctity in codified law also. So in today's class, are we clear about Hindu marriage is a sacrament or contract?
Yes, yes, ma'am.
What? Tell me, what is Hindu marriage is sacrament or a contract?
Marriage sacrament means it is a permanent relation, and which is death can be separated for the relation for that particular relation. That is called sacrament marriage. And when it
First
comes
give me in
into
one sentence. Oka sentence lo cheppandi whether Hindu marriage is a sacrament or a contract.
sacrament, ma'am.
All? Any different view?
Ma'am, as per Dharma Shastra and olden days, it is sacrament for sure. But in today's world, after the codified law came in and then divorce became the legal, it is again became a
So in one sentence, how you will say?
It depends, ma'am. Are we considering it before the codified law or after?
Sacrificed with contract.
Question is simple. You can't just put it vague like that. No, this is a question in your exam paper. Hindu law is a sacrament or a contract. Now how you will answer?
Sacrament.
100%.
It's a sacrament.
మరి కోడిఫైడ్ లో ఏం చేస్తారు?
Codified law also it's a sacrament.
Sacrament with agreement.
డైవర్స్ ఉంది కదా?
Yes, ma'am. Sacrament with agreement and contract.
So how you will write?
ఇందులో అప్పుడు 2 పాయింట్స్ రాయాలి మేడం. అంటే కోడిఫైడ్ లాస్ కంటే బిఫోర్ తర్వాత.
ఒక క్వశ్చన్ వేసాను, వెదర్ హిందూ లా ఈజ్ ఎ సక్రమెంట్ ఆర్ ఏ కాంట్రాక్ట్. సో వెన్ యూ స్టార్ట్ అన్ ఆన్సర్, ఇఫ్ యూ స్టార్ట్ ఇట్ ఈస్ ఎ సక్రమెంట్, అంటే ఫస్ట్ క్వశ్చన్ నేను కరెక్షన్ చేస్తే నాకు మైండ్లో ఏంటి అంటే ఇప్పుడు ఇది యాక్ట్ ఏమైపోయింది అన్నట్టే కదా.
రైట్ మేడం. డస్ ది క్వశ్చన్ హ్యావ్ ఏ specific about before codified law or after codified law?
They will not ask that. Simple question.
Ma'am, it's not a contract. It's not a contract.
It is an hybrid
sacrament.
It is a hybrid basically. It is not only a sacrament or a contract, it is both. So we cannot, if we say a sacrament, we are stating that it is not a contract. But then the answer is not, it is neither a contract nor a sacrament. It is both basic, both.
Neither
no, I think we have to prove for both rather than saying
because if we say it is a sacrament, then we are contradicting that it is a contract. But if we say it is a contract, then we are contradicting to the point that it is sacrament. So basically, our Hindu law is both.
If I say it is both,
So we are agreeing to both now because see, it is a sacrament because we consider it during since long time, and after it is being codified, we are having rules and regulation, divorce and everything, which is very regulated. So it is a contract.
So it is both, no?
Exactly, that is my point.
Yes, ma'am.
Excuse me, madam. The Hindu marriage is not a contract, or neither it is a sacrament. It can be said it is
Neither
a
means,
balance of both.
sorry, I
No,
can't hear. Neither contract
it is actually both.
It can be said it is a imbalance of both.
Imbalance.
Imbalance.
Imbalance means you cannot be vague.
మేడం సాక్రిమెంట్లో ఉన్న నిబంధనలు పాటించినప్పుడు అది అది లైక్
Yes,
So, ma'am,
yes.
అది
if we write both,
పాటించినప్పుడు అది
we will give some reasons for sacrament, and then write the codified law also bit to prove that it became a contract.
Simple, we can say that Hindu marriage is both sacramental and contract.
Okay.
Why we can call it a sacrament? We can give those points.
Yeah,
And why
yeah.
we call it is a contract? We can give those points.
It is considered as a sacrament because when two persons are married under Hindu law, ma'am, they do not consider divorce or many rules and regulations as a priority. It is basically Hindu marriage is all about family and continuing the bloodline and everything. It is not about the very much rules and regulations.
That is sacramental part of Hindu marriage.
Yes, and contract. It is a contract because everybody is agreeing to it, no, ma'am. In marriage and with rules and regulation, that is how it is going on.
Yes.
So it is how both it is sacrament and contract.
Right.
Parties can't force to live together.
Yes.
That's why it is a contract.
Yes, correct.
It becomes a contract because marriages are void and voidable in today after the act came into force.
Yes.
And there is a consent. If the
Consent is
Hindu marriage
required.
act itself says if consent is compulsory.
Yes.
So whatever your contract act has, valids of contract, if there any presence is there in the act, how many contract act essentials are present in this? Consent and
Legality.
legality.
Capacity.
Agreement,
Agreement, consent, acceptance.
and it has not become as an untied
mental soundness.
Yeah, not forcible.
Yes. And it is dissoluble. Earlier it was not dissoluble. So these are మన కాంట్రాక్ట్ మీ కాంట్రాక్ట్ యాక్ట్లో వచ్చే ఎసెన్షియల్స్ ఇక్కడ ఏమేమి ఉన్నాయో అవన్నీ దోస్ పాయింట్స్ యూ కెన్ రైట్ లైక్ ద కన్సెంట్ లైక్ డిజాల్వబుల్ అండ్ అన్డిజాల్వబుల్ థింగ్ ఎర్లియర్ ఇట్ వాస్ ఓన్లీ డెత్ కుడ్ సెపరేట్ ద పర్సన్ బట్ టుడే since the diverse laws are there, this particular consent can be dissoluble. This particular relation can be untied after the act has come into force. So these features make Hindu marriage as a contract. Whereas performing the marriage according to the religious rites, with the Saptapadi, doing Kanyadanam, and what more religious rites we do. The main is Saptapadi and Kanyadanam. And in the presence of Panchabhutalu. So these make
Sagai.
it a sacrament. Huh?
Sagai, ma'am. SAGAI.
SAGAI. Sagai. Okay, engagement. Sagai is engagement. That's what? Correct? Hindu marriage is a sacrament as well as a contract.
Sure.
Hmm?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
Though in today's world it has lost many of its sacramental values, but still it is taken as a sacramental and contract. And we have done today 8 types of marriages, approved and unapproved. Okay. So from tomorrow we will start our act, Hindu Marriage Act.
మేడం ఒక్కసారి అవి రిపీట్ చేస్తారా ప్లీజ్ 4
Marriages: Brahma, Daiva,
Harsha,
Prajapatya. Yes, Brahma, Daiva, Harsha and Prajapatya. Then coming to unauthorized: Asura, Gandharva, Rakshasa and Paisacha. So we conclude our class today here. Tomorrow we will take acts and we will go through each and every section of Hindu Marriage Act. Okay?
Sure, ma'am. Thank you.
Okay, ma'am. Thank you.
Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you, madam.
Thank you, madam.
Thank you, madam.